Got it.
Yeah, probably the only thing you worry about in that situation is did it do any damage to the front grille opening or any of that in the front of the car. The spring rubber is really not going to do much damage to the chassis of the car or underneath. Mike?
Yeah, and they're really not all that concerned, as you alluded to, about the spring rubber. What they are concerned about is the way the car is driving. I spoke with crew chief Steve Letard this morning, and he said the car has just not reacted the way it reacted during the test a couple of weeks ago. And Dale Jr. just radioed in saying, quote, it's really hard to drive.
Maybe it was his spring rubber that he ran over.
That changed the handling.
Yeah, may have fell out and came back around and hit it.
So Dale Jr. running fourth behind Carl Edwards. Edwards led the opening 9 laps. Jimmy Johnson passed him. Then Edwards got the lead back on a set of caution flag pit stops. About to hit the 50-mile mark here at Texas Motor Speedway. Race 8 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. That fight for the lead shaping up again. Just like the first run of the race. Carl Edwards leading for a bit. Jimmy Johnson coming after him.
Been up beside him a couple of times, and I noticed Jimmy took a little different tactic that time. He decided instead of just trying to drive on, he'd get on that rear bumper and loosen Carl up a little bit on the exit and then drive by him. Worked perfectly.
Looks like Carl might try the same tactic right here.
Didn't he keep pulling it off? Well, he's going to try that inside, which Jimmy tried to make so hard to do.
I believe you got him cleared. Nope. Ain't close.
Lap traffic ahead. And back to the lead, Jimmy Johnson.
You can see the 99 car he runs good for about 10, maybe 12 laps, and then the car starts really kicking the back end out quite a bit. Really hurts him on the exit of the corner, and that hurts your straightaway speed.
Hey, you look back through the field, you can see quite a few lines from different cars. Matt Kenseth has really been searching around. I've seen him right up next to the wall in 3 and 4 a few times. And about where we see Junior right now.
This is for 4th place here.
One thing you can do, you can search around here. There's a lot of real estate, a lot of asphalt, but you can try to find some grip, but you can't escape the bumps. They're from the bottom to the top of this racetrack. And so it's a rough ride around here regardless where you decide to run.
Might be rough, but Matt toughed it out up to 4th place.
Yeah, I think it probably made it worse. It's looser in 2-3 numbers loose into 3. 4 numbers tight everywhere else where it's going to turn. Steven's really tight at the gas, man. It's loose real late and just a bunch of pushing in when you first throttle it. Check that nose too. I tried to push 88 a little bit to get him going there. Make sure it's okay.
That was a lot of information in that little transmission, but I did see him push Junior on the restart and kind of got that grill right up against the bumper, and that's why I wanted to check it, make sure it didn't hurt it.
Yeah, and hearing a lot of loose comments, especially on the entry to the corner, and a lot of that has to do with making sure they're going to take care of the right front tire on these cars because of that excessive wear. If you have a car that you get too tight, we heard Matt even say his car was tight on the exit, but if you're tight all the way through the corner, you're going to abuse the right front, and the chances of having a problem are much greater that way.
Yeah, and these crew chiefs know that, and they're trying to defend against it. We heard some talking about that. Jason Radcliffe was one of them, saying that taking that car and trying to keep that balance where it will not overwork one tire or the other. So they're going to try to hedge their bet to take some of that off of the right front, and it is going to cause the driver to give some comments about it being loose, but I think you'd rather hear that than to have a tire problem.
And just a reminder, if you're not familiar with the terminology, tight is when the front end of the car doesn't grip as much, loose is when the back end of the car doesn't grip as much. The ideal car is when all 4 tires have equal grip and the driver's smiling big.
Yeah. And it makes it one thing that you have to do as a driver, if you've got that little bit of looseness on the entry, it's going to affect you more when the tires are fresh and you're going your fastest. That's whenever it's a bigger handful for you.
Good look at Jimmy Johnson Chevrolet from our aerial coverage today, provided by Goodyear. Everything we learn making tires that face the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR.
This is definitely one of the toughest places that Goodyear has to build a tire for. It's very high tire wear, very abrasive.
Yeah, and huge loads that they put on these tires in these corners now with the banking that's here, the speeds that they're running. Just incredible what Goodyear can do. The safety about it, but how competitive they are also.
5th and 6th place, Dale Earnhardt Jr., 88, Brad Keselowski, 2. Real lot of confidence about this 2 car from driver and team before the race. They've slipped back from the 2nd spot now, and again running in 6th.
Starting to lose entry stability and traction stability. My center turn is worse than yesterday. Kind of struggling all the way around here.
And the conditions that the crew chiefs are trying to adapt the car to are going to be changing throughout this race, and that just complicates the formula more when you hear your driver radio in. It's like you want to adjust to what he's feeling now, but you know, first of all, the weather forecast is for overcast to come in during the afternoon, and then race is going to finish after sunset.
Yeah, we'll see the practical conditions and temperature change, but the one thing that crew chiefs really struggle with today is it's going from practice to the race. It's always different. I mean, this 2 car was excellent. Every practice that we've had here, but as soon as the race started, you see something that they have that's a little bit different. You can see the temperature of the racetrack was a little different too in happy hour.
Yeah, and I'll say 2 things about that. One, there was the 300-mile nationwide race yesterday, which is going to change the racetrack, the amount of rubber that's on there. The other is these teams elect to try to get the most speed that they can out of these cars instead of running around each other. And once you get all 43 of them out there, the air's different, and therefore, because of what you're working on with the speed, your car's going to be different.
That was Josh Wise slowing to go to the pit lane, and we saw Keselowski and Earnhardt Jr. race by. Jimmy Johnson racing in the lead, while Matt Kenseth runs 4th pretty early on at Texas. Jimmy Johnson in pursuit of the 6-pack. The
Problems that they could potentially have.
They have waved off the restart now twice because they keep spotting little bits and pieces of debris.
The last minute adjustments are being made.